Yo, what's happening, everybody? Today is the 15th of March, 2015. It's a Sunday, which is why you're here. I suppose it's time to get down to business, huh? Today's razor, above the tie slant S2 Kronos. My R2 should be here this week sometime. I'm really looking forward to getting that joint back. Today's blade that's loaded in the razor is going to be one of these. Supermax Blue Diamond. These are good blades. I don't really know how I came across them. I think I just decided to roll the dice one day and check them out because they were a decent price and they're good blades. It's been a while since I've used them. I only used like one or two. They're Indian blades. I really like the Russian blades, but those are Indian blades and they're very good. Soap. Barrister and Mann. Black Label Lavender. Death by a Million Lavenders. Stuff is great. I love it. Today we're going to be debuting. This thing is so good. This is the brush that I'm going to be using today, and of course it's in the crema mug, and it's going to be the debut of Laguna Seca Badger. This is a custom brush that was made for me by Reddit user The Goddamn Train. He saw me rambling on about getting wanting to get a handle turned for this knot. This is a Wet Shaving Products 2-band super fine 28mm knot. So this is a 28mm knot, and this is the handle. This gives you some indication of the scale that we're talking. This thing is immense. It is huge. It is wonderful. It is beautiful, and it's mine. Thank you so much for turning this brush for me, man. This thing is, I love it. This is, again, 2-band Wet Shaving Products hair. I've really gotten into 2-band hair of late. I think it's my favorite, and if I ever do end up like face lathering or whatever, yeah, I'll already have some good brushes for that because this hair is good for that sort of thing. Let's go ahead and get this, let's get the show on the road here. So, this weekend has been annoying. The Southeastern Conference basketball championships are being held about 3 blocks southeast of here at the Bridgestone Arena, and traffic has been rut as a direct result of the basketball tournament. Lots of people here that have no idea what they're doing, that aren't from around here. Fine lathering bowl. Lots of people that have no idea what they're doing, no idea where they're going, no idea how to get there, and the flow of traffic has just been horrid all weekend. But it's like, it's the first, actually I shouldn't say the first really nice day, but man, it is beautiful out there today. It was like 70 degrees earlier today, sunny. First full day, excuse me, of sundress season. All little tourists and all little natives were looking so good in their little sundresses. Man, this stuff smells so good. I don't know if you're into lavender like I am. You absolutely need this soap in your life. Like I said, death by a million lavenders. This stuff is almost overwhelmingly lavender, and it's a quality lavender that when they see used in this soap. Next weekend is going to be the release of the some seasonal things, so make sure you guys are ready to pull the trigger on the 20th. And this is pretty much good to go. So this handle, I requested that it be, you know, just pretty much an enormous Simpsons M6. I prefer the M6 to the M7. I just think it looks a little bit better, and honestly, like, this thing fits in my hand. Like, I could not ask for a better fitting brush than this. This thing is, it's perfect. I love this brush. It's making me want to not use anything aside from that brush, to be completely honest with you. This blade feels a little weird in here. Let's see if we can power through it, if I'll need to change it. This blade did well in the non-slant above the ties, and you know, that's something. I wonder if this lather is a little too thick as well. I'll add some more for the next pass. Yeah, this blade did well, like in my regular non-slant above the tie razors. So I wonder if this just isn't a good blade for this razor. I'm still trying to find the right one for this razor. The silver blue does okay in this thing. It doesn't excel like it does in the non-slants. And that kind of sucks because I have a lot of those blades. But I guess it's not the worst, because I really do prefer the R2 to the S2. And no, I'm not getting rid of my S2. This could still use some more water. This knot actually is set very high in this handle. It really isn't. I mean, there's not much plug past like the base of this knot. So this is nearly all of the nearly the whole loft of the brush, but there's still good backbone in this thing. I'm telling you, I've never used like any like the golden nib 2-band or any of the other you know, people that sell straight knots. I've not used any of their 2-band here, but man, I just don't see how it can be any better than this. I can see how it could be worse though. So I don't know. We'll see. So currently, I'm having to convince myself not to get another one of those brushes turned maybe in a different color. I felt a little bit better with a more wet lather. So yeah, I call the thing, brush's name, I call it Laguna Seca Badger. Reason being, this color is a pretty good approximation of my favorite color that my favorite car came in. My favorite car, of course, being the E46 BMW M3, and it came in a color called Laguna Seca Blue, which is very close to this. If you've ever seen that car, you know just how jaw-dropping that color is. It's attention-grabbing. You just can't get your eyes off that color. In addition to the fact that it's just a beautiful car. Such a good looking thing. Timeless, timeless design. Anyway, so yeah, you know, while I was talking to the gentleman that turned the brush for me, again, his username on Reddit is the goddamn train, and I don't know why, but I think that's hilarious. So the working title, the working name of the brush was the goddamn brush, of course, had to be. I think he did like a model in wood just to give it a go, because he said this is like the first brush that he turned. So he gave it a go in wood first, you know, smaller, because most people like generally speaking, most people like normal size knots, not the behemoths that I use. And then he turned one and it broke when he was finishing it up, which sucks. But I mean, I can't complain because I ended up getting that one, and I'm telling you, that thing is, I could not, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It's kind of like a cross between the Simpsons M6 and the Tulip, because the M6 does kind of like, you know, the handle is wider than the knot, as you see maybe here, but the Tulip comes out a lot more. The handle comes out a lot more from the knot than the M6 does. So I always thought that looked really good. So I wanted to incorporate that into this brush. And this is just such an ergonomically sound handle. This is a great design from Simpsons. I mean, it fits my hand so perfect. So perfect. Like cradling it down here, and then this is such a nice surface to rest the finger on. The thumb just just rests in place naturally right there. The thing is, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So, like I was mentioning, it's super nice outside today. It was like 70 degrees, sunshine, no clouds, and of course it's Sunday, and this is the day that I hang out with my little. And it kind of sucked today. Actually, it straight up sucked today because, you know, he's an older kid. You know, for the program, he's 16 years old, so he's got himself a job. And I dropped him off, and he was not happy that I had to drop him off. He said he wanted to hang out some more, and that sucked, man. I hated hearing that, you know. But we had a good time today. Hung out in the sun, ate Mexican food in the sun, rode around for a bit. Like I mentioned, that basketball tournament is going on right now, so there is a ton more people than the normal ton of people that are in downtown. So we were riding around, having a look at the sights. He was telling me what his plans for the future are, which is something that he seems to just have focused on more big time ever since I've started hanging out with him. Whether or not that has anything to do with me is beside the point. I'm just glad that he's actually thinking about that sort of thing. At 16 years old, almost 17, that's certainly not something that I was accounting for when I was his age. So that's really cool. I like seeing that. Let's get some more water on this bin. Also, last night, there were some fights, and we need to talk about them. There were 2 championships that were decided last night. There was the women's 115-pound strawweight, I think is what the name of that weight class is. 115-pound division. And then the men's lightweight division, which is 155 pounds. the women's title. Also, this is going a lot smoother now that I put some water in this lather. I'm glad this is going better because I did like these blades. They're a nice little change of pace from the numerous silver blues that I have stockpiled. Anyway, so yeah, the women's title fight. A girl named Carla Esparza, American girl, versus a Polish girl named Joanna. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know what I can't pronounce her last name. Jedrzejczyk, something like that. We'll call her Joanna. Joanna comes from a striking background, Muay Thai. She's a Polish girl. And I thought, that Carla, coming from a wrestling base, would just, be able to use that wrestling to put the fight where she wants it. If she was getting the better of the stand-up, she would use her wrestling to negate Joanna's takedown attempts and keep it on the feet so she can light her up. And if Joanna was getting the better of the striking, then she can use her wrestling to put her on the mat and try to gain an advantage there. So Joanna, the striker, she immediately started lighting up Esparza on the feet. And Esparza noticed that she was getting hit in the face and body a lot. So she went for her takedown and she got the first one. She wasn't able to hold her down though. And Joanna got up and, started doing her thing with the striking. She started getting the better, of Joanna on the feet. So of course, Joanna, was getting the better of Carla on the feet. So Carla Esparza, the champion, she went to go take her down again. Takedown denied, which was the story of the rest of the fight. She could not get her down, and she had no striking defense. It looked like she almost didn't want to be there, from the walk-ins, and it was just crazy. Like I said, it's almost like she just was not there mentally. And in the post-event press conference, the first thing she mentions is that she wants to take a break. So pretty ominous stuff from Carla Esparza there. I have to wonder what her future is going to hold. So that was an upset. Pretty sizable upset. That was the co-main event. The main event was the men's lightweight title fight between Anthony Pettis, the champion, and Rafael dos Anjos. Dos Anjos is Brazilian, Pettis is American, but he's half Puerto Rican and half Mexican. The reason he has the last name Pettis is because that's like anglicized version of Perez. I think his dad is the Mexican one, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. I like Pettis. And, he's Puerto Rican, so he's pretty much all I got in mixed martial arts. There's plenty of Puerto Rican boxers. We like to box, but there just aren't that many Puerto Rican mixed martial artists. Anthony Pettis and his brother Sergio Pettis are pretty much it. But Anthony Pettis is a bit of a cunt, man. Don't get me wrong, I am too. I don't know, I just don't like his cuntiness. Doesn't jive with mine. Also, he's got a really shitty face. But he's a great fighter, and I love watching him fight. But quite frankly, he looked like a scrub. Dos Anjos was a big underdog. I think he was at plus 450 was the line. and I think Pettis was at minus 500. Those are big odds. Dos Anjos went out there and whooped his ass every single round. Pettis gave him nothing. He ruined him every single minute of every single round. He was winning the stand-up exchanges. And he was putting him on the ground whenever he wanted him, controlling him, and lighting him up on the ground as well. Dos Anjos was very, very ready. It was crazy. And I'm going to do this. Yeah, so that was wild. So Dos Anjos is your new lightweight champion, and it was later, like in the press conference, it was later disclosed that Dos Anjos actually tore his MCL in his right knee 3 weeks ago. So he was fighting on a bum leg too, which makes that performance that much more impressive, because again, Pettis is very, very, very good. And Pettis he could not do anything. He got absolutely nothing going against Dos Anjos. And not very many people at all gave Dos Anjos a chance to win the fight. And even if you did have Dos Anjos, even if you did pick Dos Anjos to win the fight, I don't think that you could have reasonably expected Dos Anjos to win like that. Also, you know, I was watching the fights with some friends, and some time ago, maybe a year ago or so, there was a Redditor, and I don't remember his name. I'm going to have to go through my messages and send him a message. But there was a Redditor that sent me 6 enormous beers, 6 like 24-ounce beers. And these are high-end beers. I'm not a beer dude. I'm more into liquor, namely scotch. But this dude sent me 6 big beers. Hold on a second. Yeah, my man sent me 6 big beers, and they were good beers. Definitely beers that you can't get here in Tennessee. There were two beers from a brewery called Clown Shoes in Michigan. One was called Blakehorn Unidragon. The other one was Porcine, as in pork, Unidragon. And then there were 4 from a brewery called Stone. He gave me Vertical Epic 11-11-11, Vertical Epic 12-12-12, a barley wine style ale, and some sort of imperial stout. Of those beers, the youngest one was bottled in 2012, so they were old beers on top of that. And they were extremely high proof. All of them were at least 10%, you know, by volume. They were really good. And like I said, I'm not even a beer dude. Yeah, I brought the Porcine Unidragon and the barley wine thing, barley wine style ale. And they were so good. Another friend brought Muhukiado, which is probably my favorite beer right about now. It's like a coffee magic ale, or excuse me, stout. It's incredible. It's overly good. It's unnecessarily good. Terrapin, I think, is who brews it. And Pliny the Elder. And then another friend brought some other beers. So it was a very beery evening, which that doesn't really happen with me at all. But it was good, it was enjoyable. Good company, good friends, good beers, good fights. Couldn't really ask for a whole lot more of last night. I also let the guy who was hosting the fights, I let him borrow my Wolfman open comb to see how he gets on with it. I told him to expect an aggressive razor. I hope he heeded my advice. Or I hope he heeds my advice. I don't think he's used it yet. Kind of groggy today. That's why I'm not really too terribly talkative. We're not really talking about much interesting. Although I think when I finish here, more boringness. When I finish here, I think I'm going to burn up some petrol. Go to a grocery store that's not very close to here, enjoy the drive and pick up some groceries. One thing I'll say about Tennessee, this is a beautiful state. You know, I'm pretty sure you guys know I'm more of a city dude than a country dude. But the natural beauty of this place is pretty undeniable. You know, I can get on the interstate, drive 20 minutes in either direction at a decent rate of speed and be well outside the confines of the city, or the metro, I should say. Well, I'm still in the metro, but it's so undeveloped. I don't know why they consider it part of the metro. I guess that has a lot to do with why Nashville is considered one of the sprawliest metropolitan areas in the United States, if not the sprawliest. Wrestled that crown away from Atlanta, dubious distinction as it is. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Put some sun on this scalp. Although I think memory card complained of not having any space left. So anyway, yeah. That's what I think I'm going to do. Chill before the week starts. Or enjoy myself, I should say, before the week starts. So yeah, all of you people that are college basketball fans, if you do watch the SEC tournament, make sure you think about me when you watch it on ESPN or whatever channel is being broadcasted on. And remember about the traffic woes that I'm going to have to be wrestling with the tourists and the Kentuckians. So much blue this weekend. So not only, you know, was there a bunch of Kentuckians, because it's, you know, not that far from Kentucky. Louisville, I think, is where the University of Kentucky is, who I understand has quite a team this year. Yeah, so there's a horde of Kentuckians that are in the city this weekend. So in addition to the normal tourist crowd, there's the Kentuckians. It's also St. Patrick's Day is being celebrated this weekend, so there's a bunch of green as well. And then Nashville is the bachelorette party capital of America / the world. So there's a bunch of pink as well. This weekend has been a little crazy in the neighborhood. It's cool though. It's annoying, or it can be annoying, I should say, but I like it as much as I complain. So I think that's gonna be pretty much it. Have a look at this brush, man. Look at all that lather that's still in there. And then there's a gang of lather left in the bowl as well. Take a look at that. It's like a damn cupcake, man. That smells incredible. And works even better than it smells. Wash up here. Wow. Quite a bit of hair left here. Patented barrister and mann residual slickness coming to the rescue. Wow, this blade doesn't really seem to be as sharp as my other blades. And that sucks because I've come to discover that this razor really likes sharp blades. But like I said, the residual slickness really helped out there. So I was able to do some normally dangerous stuff there to get rid of that stupid stubble. Excuse me. All right. Today's aftershave, gonna go with patou, prive. It's nice stuff. It's a balm, but it's very liquidy. It's not cream like most of the other balms that I've used. And if you've ever had any patou pour homme products, then you know how ridiculous this cap is. It actually, I hope I'm able to show you, but you can lift it up like this. Now listen, you can hear that it like snaps back into place. So that's how it's stored. And as you can see, it has like this thing kind of acts to snap it into place. It's friction. I was a little worried that this wasn't going to be the genuine article, but I figure that that bottle design has got to be pretty tough to counterfeit. This definitely smells like the 80s. It's good though. I do like it. Like I said, this stuff is very liquidy for a balm. See how it just kind of just comes out like that? Rather than you have to like force it or whatever. It's more of a milk, I guess, than a balm per se. But it is nice. It makes me want to smell what the eau de toilette is like. And I can kind of get a little bit of I don't want to say derivation from the original patou pour homme, but they smell related. There's definitely a family resemblance there. So that's gonna be it. All right, everybody. A weird video this week. I'm not gonna apologize because it was still enjoyable, I think. Anyway, hope you guys have a good week. Enjoy your evening. Have a good week, have a good night, be safe, and I'll see you next week. Peace.